Hi, everybody. So, for my read aloud this week, I decided that I'm going to read an ebook. Do you remember what ebook stands for? It's an electronic book. So, there's a couple different ways I can read ebooks. I think I'm going to read one on Pebble Go because this week's field trip is about going to the Philadelphia Zoo. So, I'd like to read more about one of the animals that I saw on there. I'd like to read about the gorillas. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get to Pebble Go and look for my ebooks. Do you remember how I'm going to do that? Let me show you. So I'm here in Seesaw. I am going to click on the Fine Arts Hallway and then click again to open it up. Now, you know which one is me. I'm holding the books. Let me go ahead and click on my picture and it will bring you to the Bitmoji library. Now, what I can do is look for the computer that says Pebble Go. It's pink and green. And I'm going to click that and it will open up. No passwords or anything. Okay. Now, there's a couple different ways I can look for the gorillas. I know that I can find the gorillas in the animal section, but since I already know what I'm looking for, I can also just type it in here. Let me type in gorillas and it will bring me right there. Now I can read the article about gorillas, but I'm looking for the ebooks, remember? So I'm going to go all the way to the right to the purple tab that says read more, and I'm going to read it. Now there's a couple books for me to choose from. The Most Endangered Animals or Gorillas and Their Infants. So I'm going to pick Gorillas and Their Infants because I saw a baby gorilla on the field trip. I'd like to read more about them. So I'm going to click on that book and I'm going to hit play. Even though it's not a video, it's a book, it still says play. That's what you can hit to open it. It's going to open in a minute. Okay. Gorillas and Their Infants by Margaret Hall. Now, for me to be able to turn the pages, I can use my finger or my mouse because I'm on my laptop. And if I just click, it will turn the pages for me. Okay? So when I'm ready to turn the page, I just click or swipe if I'm on my iPad, and then it will go. Now I can either read it to myself or I can hit the play button right here to have it read to me. So if I want it to read to me, I would just hit the play button. Let's listen. Gorillas and their infants. Okay, so if you want to have it read to you, hit the play button. If not, you can just read it to yourself. Okay, gorillas and their infants. Now the word infant is kind of an interesting one because human babies are also called infants. Like baby dogs are called puppies and baby cats are called kittens. Gorilla babies are called infants, just like human babies. Let's see. Oh, the first page is the table of contents. So it's going to tell me what's in the book. Let's see. Gorillas, the infant, growing up, watch gorillas grow. And then a glossary, read more, internet sites, critical thinking questions, and an index. So this looks like a really informative nonfiction book. Let's take a look. Gorillas. Gorillas are strong mammals. Young gorillas are called infants. Gorillas and their infants live in Africa. Take a look at the picture. It's so cute. Now, on the page with the words, page 4, do you notice some of the words are in bold? That means they're an important word, right? So they're important. I might not know what they mean, but I can usually check the glossary at the end of the book. Gorillas live in family groups called troops. A male gorilla is a silverback. A silverback mates with a female gorilla. So look at the picture. Which one do you think is the silverback? That's right, it's the one in the middle whose back is a lighter color. The infant. A female gorilla usually gives birth to one infant. Infants drink milk from their mothers. Infants sometimes ride on the backs of their mothers. So in some ways, the gorilla infants are like human infants. There's usually one. Human infants can drink milk from their mothers, but I've never seen a human infant ride on the back of their mother unless they're in a special carrying case or a wrap. Not like this gorilla infant who's just riding all by themselves. Growing up. Infants grow and become young gorillas. Young gorillas play and climb. Young gorillas learn to find food. Gorillas eat plants and bark. Young gorillas leave the troop after about 8 years. Then they live with a new troop. Watch gorillas grow. So take a look at the pictures. We're going to start over here where it says birth and then go from left to right and see how the gorilla is growing and growing until they're an adult after about 10 years. So look how different the baby gorilla, the infant, looks from the adult, the silverback. Okay, now here's the glossary. The glossary is going to tell us what those important words meant, right? There's also a page that says read more. So if I was interested in more books about gorillas, I could read this page and find the books that's listed there. Now, there's one more page I want to show you. There's some critical thinking questions. So it's asking some questions about what we read in the story. But underneath here is the index. Do you know what the index is in the back of a nonfiction book? It's similar to the table of contents, right? It tells you what kinds of things the book talked about. But the table of contents goes in order of the pages, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. The index goes in ABC order, depending on the topic that they're talking about. So if I knew I wanted to read about food, what kind of food that gorillas eat, I can see that I would go to page 16 because I see the word food and 16 next to it. That's how the index helps you find the page that you want. So let's look at the critical thinking questions. 1, what kinds of things do young gorillas do? Do you remember? Now, if I take a look at the index, I don't see the word young, but I do see the word growing. So I would go back to page 14 and see what kinds of things young gorillas do as they grow. Question 2, where in this book can you find out why male gorillas are called silverbacks? So they want you to look in the index. Now, what's the important word from this sentence? Gorillas is an important word, but since the whole book is about gorillas, it might be hard to find which page we're looking for. I think the important word in this sentence is called silverbacks. Do you see silverbacks in the index? Remember, it's an ABC order, so you're looking for the word that starts with an S. Silverbacks is right here. I would go to page 6 to find that out. 3, how does a mother gorilla care for her infant? Now, what's the important word in this sentence? It might be 2, right? Infant is the important word. And also mother is the important word. Now let me look in the index. Males, mammals, mating, milk, mothers. So to read about mothers, I would go to page 10 or page 12. I don't see infant, so I'd go to mothers, page 10 or page 12. So I hope you liked reading this book with me. Now, you can go on Pebble Go and you can look for all kinds of ebooks. It doesn't just have to be about gorillas. There's so many ebooks on there. Remember, you pick the article that you want, click the purple tab that says read more, and you can get reading. Have fun.